What's up guys, Felix Force here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be doing my round 10 tipping video. It's the Magic Round video. This year I'm not going up this year, but I think I'll be going up to Magic Round next year. Because of course if you're watching my channel around this time last year I did round up going up, but we're just not going up this year due to some other reasons. The Bulldogs and the Canberra Raiders. I'm going to be tipping the Canberra Raiders here. They've looked really good over these last couple of weeks. They picked up what I'd like to say is an upset win over the Dolphins. Jack Whiten finally started to play good. I think he's starting to be a lot more confident because he knows he's going to the Rabbitohs next year. So maybe he's going to start playing better because he's a bit happier. And the Raiders, if we look back at their recent games, they had a bye. But then the week before they pulled off a good win against the Dragons, which was another kind of like an upset win. But I reckon they'll be able to easily get up here over a Bulldogs team that's lost 4 in a row. And they, of course, lost. They beat the Dragons last week. But could have been golden point if Zach Lomax kicked his goals once again. But I reckon the Raiders will win this game. They've won the last 6 times against the Bulldogs. And whether that's home or away, they've just dominated them. A few close ones, a lot of close ones actually. Biggest one was 16 points, but still the Raiders should win this game. Manly and the Brisbane Broncos, 2 teams that have looked pretty much out of form. It's not TLT, Teamless Tuesday, so I'm not sure about this, but they always play each other Magic Round, and the Broncos usually get the best of them. They've won 2 out of the 3 times. There was no Magic Round in 2020 due to COVID, but they've just dominated them, the Broncos, apart from 2021. But that game last year was 38-0. Really set a statement, and they usually do beat them quite good, like 26-10, 48-16, 30-6. It's a team that I usually play really good against, and Manly, without Tom Trbojevic, they kind of just fall apart. So, I mean, pretty easy win this is going to be for the Broncos. Penrith Panthers and the New Zealand Warriors, and I thought this one was going to be an absolute easy tip. Penrith Panthers, but the Warriors could be in for a chance here if Penrith take them lightly, because no one in the whole universe would have seen the Tigers beating the Penrith. Like, if you were to tell someone before the season started that the West Tigers were going to beat the Penrith Panthers, they probably would have just started laughing at you. But with this, the way this year's going, I could actually see the Warriors winning this game. But of course, I feel like Penrith would now know not to take like lower teams lightly, and I reckon the Panthers will win this game after the Warriors were held scoreless last week by the Roosters. Sharks and the Dolphins, and as much as I want to tip the Dolphins here, I'm going to have to tip Cronulla. Like, Nicho Hynes has been like dominating again. He's probably just going to get all 5 Daily M votes every week and just win the Daily M at this point. But the Sharks, he's carrying them. If he has a good game, the whole team has a good game, which leads to Sharks winning. I feel like this game is going to be 13+ by the Cronulla Sharks. They'll just be too good for them in the end, even though this is technically a Dolphins home game. It's at Suncorp, but like, Sharks, I reckon, will still win. But if the Sharks take them lightly, I could see a Dolphins upset here, but the Sharks are a pretty good team. No, not to take the teams like the Dolphins lightly. Storm and the Rabbitohs, and I'm really looking forward to this game. It's always a close game when these teams play, apart from that 50-0 flogging, but it's always going to be really even. In the Storm, they won back in round 5, but I reckon South Sydney, Latrell Mitchell has been dominant. Like, he's been absolutely electric. He's got, like, I think 9 tries in the last 4 games. I'm not too sure. Someone can fact check that in the comments. I'm not going to do that because otherwise this video will be 10 minutes long. But South Sydney, I reckon they've been in really good form. They've won in pretty much blowout wins, apart from the one against Penrith. They won by 2, they won by 26 last week, and then they won by 22, and then 34. And I could see this game being a blowout, but I reckon South Sydney, they should pick up a win here, unless the Storm can start to get back into some form, because they barely beat the Warriors. The Warriors played really good that game. It was a shame that the Warriors didn't get up there, but I reckon South Sydney Rabbitohs will win this one. the Tigers and the Dragons, and I never tipped the Dragons. And I feel like the Tigers are a team they can sometimes lose to. Like, they never beat the Tigers up until last year. They beat them in 2 very, very close games. But apart from that, they all just loss, win. So 2018, up until last year, was the last time they won. And then there was still just loss after that. But I reckon, I feel like I'm going to be tipping the Tigers here. But I do feel like the Dragons are going to win. But I'm just not going to tip them. Mainly because of someone called Zach Lomax who can't kick conversions. He's just stopped practicing by the looks of things. They probably need to hook him from the goal kicking. But the West Tigers, I reckon they'll be very confident. Not overconfident because they're not a team that really gets too excited because they're a pretty depressed team. But I reckon the Tigers will win this game. The Roosters and the Cowboys. And I have no idea what is wrong with the Cowboys this year. Every year they just do the opposite of what they're expected to. This year they're expected to be grand final caliber. They're coming second last. And last year, many people predicted them to get the spoon in 2022. And they wound up finishing second and made it to a preliminary final. They are not looking like a team that came 4 points away from a grand final against Penrith. And the Roosters should absolutely destroy them in this game. Probably it will be the Cowboys probably only getting 1 or 2 tries to the Roosters getting around 8. I reckon it will be a cricket score by the end of the game. The Titans and the Parramatta Eels. I'm going to be tipping the Eels here. They're starting to get into form. 2 really big wins in a row. Well, not in a row, but they did beat the Bulldogs 30-4, and then the Newcastle Knights 43-12 last week. Mitch Moses, I hate him, but he was looking really good that game. They're starting to finally work together, the halves, the fullback, and the hooker. And I reckon the Eels will get a good win here against the Gold Coast Titans. That'll be it for this week. I'll be doing my Supercoach video tomorrow. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe to this channel. It's come to my attention that 87% of people who watch my videos aren't even subscribed. So if you aren't already, make sure you click that subscribe button down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.